My friends, good day. More than 100,000 private conversations on ChatGPT have leaked. And what's worse, they have been even worse than leaked. They have been indexed on Google, and even worse, they have been indexed on the archive.org website. So what is this about? There was a feature on ChatGPT that was removed precisely because of this scandal, which allowed users to share a chat. It means that you're chatting with ChatGPT, and what you could do was you had a button that allowed you to generate a link, and that link you could send it to whoever you wanted. The person clicks, opens it, and sees the conversation. This link has no protection. It's a link that was generated. There's no password, no authentication, nothing at all. As soon as you share it, it's, as we used to say, like a bearer check. So whoever has this link can access the conversation. A lot of people also, what they did was they didn't start a new conversation, which meant continuing on a thread that sometimes dated back several days. Click share everything. While they thought they were maybe just sharing the answer the system had just given them. What happened? Google, which is very fond of links, where does it find them, Google? It's not just that people were necessarily posting them on forums or elsewhere. It's not even that. It's that, for example, you exchange a link with someone on Gmail, and who owns Gmail? It's owned by Google. So it's a tool that can potentially detect links, and then it can send its crawlers, go index them, see what kind of passwords there are, all that, and add them to the Google index. Afterwards, in the background, what do you have? You have the Wayback Machine, which we call the Wayback Machine. It's a very interesting system. It's archive.org. That's the site. So if you want, it's a site that lets you go back in time. That means sometimes you read a version of a page and you think, I'm sure there used to be something else on this page. You can put the link on it and go back in time. You can also find websites that have disappeared. For example, sometimes you have a site. It's happened to me. Sometimes I have saved links in my browser. I click on a link I saved maybe 2 years ago. I see that the site no longer exists. The domain name wasn't renewed, nothing. I go to the Wayback Machine, which lets me go back and see the article in question. So what happened is that it's a massive indexing. So the damage, today we know there are at least 100,000. I had 110,000, but it might even be more than that. So it's a disaster. What do we see in there? We see some strange things. Well, of course, there are private conversations, intimate letters, health issues, and all that. But what we also see sometimes are terrible things. It's like, for example, a lawyer who says, I want to find a way to break up an indigenous tribe from their land in the Amazon. It's an Italian lawyer who asked this question. I'm looking for strategies. This tribe doesn't know the value of their land. My client, he wants to build a hydroelectric dam, but he wants the area to be cleared. What are the methods to do this? So here we are. We know today that there's a hydroelectric dam that's planned, probably by European interests, Italians or others. In the Amazon, with tribes present, action will be needed regarding them. So we know it. There was someone who wanted to know, an Egyptian who wanted to know how to criticize the president of his country, how to write a critical article about Sisi's record. So these are people who could end up being persecuted and all that. So it's a huge disaster, because this is the first big data leak, the first major data leak from AI. Actually, and it's not the first, well, it's the first, but it won't be the last. What I meant to say is that there will be others. What we also find in this leak, but what people often do is, for example, they're in a company, they receive a contract, it's confidential, the terms of the contract, but they want a summary, so they'll give it to ChatGPT to make a summary. Where is the contract now? Well, it's on the system that Vatil will access. Will it be used to train the model? Will it end up on Google? It's all a mystery and guesswork. Once you give it, you need to know one thing. Once you give documents or information to a system that's not under our control, that's it. We've lost control of that data. A typical example, you're in a laboratory, in a lab, you're developing, I don't know, a new formula or something like that. And then you need a little help. You upload your formula to Chat Generative Pre-trained Transformer. It talks to me, it's going to comment on it, it's going to help you and everything. What's going to happen? Potentially, 20 minutes later, there's a competitor on the other side of the world who asks Chat Generative Pre-trained Transformer how to develop your formula. Potentially, it's integrated, this information you gave is integrated into the system's training, and it can be spit out in this form or another to a competitor. You see, so that's what's happening right now. So today there are a lot of companies that forbid it. So while there are some that are completely crazy about going towards chat, generative pre-trained transformer, or other forms of AI, there are also plenty of others, and I know some of them, who forbid their employees from using AI. Why? Because they've realized the danger behind it, like this leak, for example. So there you go. I just wanted to tell you to be careful, really be very cautious, because it can really cause disasters in your life. Confidential information could end up being widely distributed to humanity. That's it, my friends. Thank you very much. This video was made without AI, and then I'll see you in the next one. See you very soon.